Hello everyone, I'm Sientir, this is Kingdom Come Deliverance, and I apparently got another point in main level. What's going on here? Level is derived from your stats and your progress through the game. It's useful for comparing your character to that of your friends. With every second level you reach, you can select one perk that will allow you to make your character more specialized. Okay, so what's this do? So this shows me perk options. How does this work? Manly odor. So I can look at strength perks too, looks like. Oh, okay. But in order to get perks in these, I assume you have to get them up somehow? Info. You run slower, but keep it up for longer. Your sprint speed is 20% slower, but demands 20% less stamina. Can't be combined with sprinter perk. You run faster, but also tire faster. I see, that makes sense. You bleed slower. If you don't either overeat or go hungry for 5 consecutive days, you get a +1 bonus to vitality and agility. Interesting. So it looks like I can't get any of those, but there are some main level perks. What does this do? You'll last 30% longer without food, but as soon as you get hungry, the effects will be 20% worse. When dirty, you'll have 50% more charisma when talking to women. However, people will smell you a mile off, reducing your stealth skill by 30%. I see. Night Rider. Your stamina will regenerate 20% faster at night, but 10% slower during the day. Scout 1 increases the sight distance of fast travel, so you notice events on the way sooner, and your chances of evading are also increased by 10%. Okay, I'm not quite sure what that means, but... Oh, I see, there's a minimum level, so that has like minimum level 4. Wanderer. You grew up in impoverished conditions, so comfort of beds is inverted for you. The worse the bed, the better you sleep, and vice versa. Well, I don't know what I would want to spend perk points on, if I'm being blunt. But it looks like I have 1 perk point. Minimum level 2. But I don't have 2 strength. Finding dead or unconscious bodies won't cost you any stamina, and they will burn you only half as much. Okay, so there's a bunch of cool stuff in here. Mule 1, you can carry 15 pounds more. So that all makes sense. I am not going to look at any more perks at the moment, just because I would... Oh, I can look at nourishment here. Okay. Your character needs to eat and drink. Each type of food and drink will fill you up to a greater or lesser extent. Meat produces a lot. Fruit and drinks, little. Overeating will negatively affect your stats. You also have to be careful what you eat. Food spoils over time and can easily poison you. So for long trips, it's better to take with you durable foods, while if you've got time to sit in a tavern, you can fill up with a freshly cooked meal. Energy. Your character gets tired over time, and then it needs to rest. Energy is depleted by combat movement and basically just by being awake. Exhaustion depletes your stamina, and eventually you can faint. I see. You can fend it off by imbibing alcohol in sensible amounts, for example, although drinking too much has the opposite effect, as does eating heavy foods. Stamina. Your character's stamina depletes every time you do something physically demanding, such as sprinting or fight, and when it drops to 0, you can do neither. If you pause to catch your breath, though, stamina will replenish itself automatically. Your immediate stamina depends on your health, tiredness, and hunger, and can also be depleted by such things as overeating, drunkenness, and poisoning. Health. Your total health is a fixed value. It doesn't increase over time and won't regenerate on its own. It depletes when you're wounded in combat, fall from a height, are poisoned, or eat spoiled food, as well as when you're exhausted or starving. To heal yourself, you have to take a healing potion or sleep. If you're bleeding, you first have to bandage the wound before it will heal. Okay, makes sense. Okay, I'll look at some of the other perk stuff later, but like this requires minimum level 4. It looks like for some of these. Okay, vitality is the running ones. When trader loses patience with you during haggling, you get 1 more chance to make another offer. Highborn. Increases your speech level by +3 when talking to nobles and wealthy people. You can't have the lowborn perk simultaneously. Your speech stat will rise by +3 when you talk to commoners. You can't have the... Yeah, that makes sense. Empathetic. In dialogues, you'll see your counterparts' stats and skill checks. Merchants will be more willing to buy stolen items from you. Interesting. I probably won't try to make that all that valuable because I don't tend to like to play in those styles, but you know. Okay, that's enough looking at those things. I need to go get some nails for Theresa. They were in the house, apparently. In the chest somewhere. Okay, so this part has some stonework on the ground. Where was I even sleeping at the start of the game? Was it over here? Was it on this thing? Doesn't seem particularly comfortable. This looks like a chest. Nails for Theresa. I will take that. Oh, there's some save your snaps here. Yes. What is this? Withing 1 minute will add 30 health and dispel hangover effects. Cancels the effects of Lazarus potion. Okay, I don't know what withing means. Strip of clean linen used to stop bleeding. Yep. Any reason why I don't take this? I assume I can just take these. Okay, well, whatever. Let's go ahead and return these nails. I'm gonna turn these nails over to Theresa.
Bring those nails and don't keep Theresa waiting.
Right?
Hi, here's some nails.
Those nails you wanted?
Thanks. So, how's Bianca?
She's fine. Why do you ask?
Just wondering, will you be going to the dance this evening?
We will.
Ooh, a dance.
Maybe we'll see each other there. Anyway, mustn't keep you. I'll be on my way. That sword is truly beautiful.
Indeed. Uh-huh.
Fine lass, eh? Now, stop staring at her and come and see this. It's time for the trial by fire.
What now? I mean, you're going to need to sharpen it after doing that.
We did a fine job.
I would expect nothing less from such a renowned swordsmith.
Those days are gone, sir.
You haven't lost your skills, though.
I assume that's the Lord. Take that stick.
Would you like to try it?
Sir, what good is a sword to a
Let
commoner?
him try it. You still have a lot to learn. Ask your father to show you how. He knows what he's about.
Learning his trade will serve him better in life, sir.
Perhaps. But who knows what the future holds for each of us. I see that you almost have it finished.
It just needs a polish, then Henry will bring it to you.
Excellent. Fine work. Very fine. A sword such as this will bring honor to its bearer. What say you, Svan?
True, Sir Radzik. If I'd have had its like back in Nicopolis, things would have worked out differently. How odd to find such an accomplished swordsmith working in a place like this. A man of his talent would have no problem making a fortune in Prague or Vienna.
You're right. It's a very long and peculiar story.
I'd be glad to listen to it over a cup of wine, but duty calls, and I must leave. Here you are. Learn from your father. He truly is a master of his craft.
I'm sure our paths will cross again.
He certainly will.
Once it's ready, send your son up to me with it. Good work, Martin.
Sir.
It's been an honor, Sir Istvan. Have a safe journey to Sasau.
Ah, what
The
if...
honor is mine, Sir Radzig. Thank you for the hospitality.
A long, peculiar history.
That was a long time ago. I might tell you about it sometime, but not today.
Will you teach me how to use it like Sir Radzig said?
Why?
Well, it could come in useful. Maybe I'll travel a bit before settling down. I'd like to know more than the tavern on the green and the forge.
You know the trouble with an adventurous life, son? It can end before it gets started. I might teach you how to handle a sword, and then someone will shoot you with a crossbow as soon as you set foot outside the house.
Talk as if you've seen it happen.
A man my age has seen a lot. Being a blacksmith might bring no glory, but it has its benefits, like keeping your head on your shoulders. I want to end my days in Scallops, here, beneath the linden tree and by your mother's side.
Well, so do I, one day. But first, I'd like to see the world, meet new people.
Meet them or beat them.
Meet. You have to keep going on about it.
Then you've no need to learn swordplay.
Messenger?
A messenger.
He was in a hurry. What's happened?
What was that you were saying about swordplay? Is this Sigismund? So much for that dance tonight.
Listen to me, Al. Listen carefully. Take the sword, go into the house, and grab anything else important from the trunk. Go to the castle. Hurry.
What about you?
Your mother is in the village. I'll fetch her and we'll follow right behind.
I'll go with you.
No. You'll do what I say right now. Give the sword to Sir Radzig. If anything happens, he'll take care of you. He owes me.
I think I grabbed everything important from the trunk. Okay. Well, that person's chainmail was ineffective.
Quickly! We have to close the gates!
Move! Come on, we're closing!
Move it, people!
Come on!
We're running
Come
out of
on!
time! Oh, Henry! Thank God! Get inside, quick! We have to shut the gates!
Get running, people! Come on!
Mind this for me.
Are you mad? You can't go back! Ah!
Get through the gates!
Yeah. Well. That's not going to go well. This would be the part where you turn and run into the castle, Henry. Somebody's being set up as the villain.
Come on,
Tactical retreat is the best decision right there, yeah.
Find a horse! Ride to Talonburg! Tell them what's coming! Warn them!
Run by the moats! There's a path down there! Jump down from the wall and flee!
Okay. Yeah, they need to get that bridge up. Okay, well that's dramatic. You got Serez Kabila's sword. You also got dead parents. Okay, game saved. You learned Koopmans. Okay, let's see what's going on here. Koopmans. The Koopmans first arrived in Czech lands in 1260 under the leadership of the Hungarian Crown Prince Stephen, however they're pronouncing that. They fought against Bishop Bruno and the army of the Austrian lords, which they thoroughly vanquished. The Koopmans appeared for the second time in the 1270s when they defeated the army of King Przemysl Ottokar and went on to pillage Moravia. They last invaded the Czech lands under Sigismund of Luxembourg, who could afford no better mercenaries than the Koopmans. Estimates speak of several thousand fighters. One of the places that succumbed to their ravages was Silver Scallops, the birthplace of our game's hero. I see. Wait, why is there a plus sign? Oh, that just tells you that it can be expanded and contracted. I understand now. Okay, so events. Okay, so there's an abduction of Wenceslas IV. I feel like reading that right now might be an impediment to ride to Talonburg, get a horse. Might be an impediment to the momentum of the game. There's a river over there, or are those fields? I think that might be a field. It's a little hard to tell. Also, I might be hungry.
You pigs! Don't touch me, or I'll kill you! Go to hell, you Tatar beast!
You can whistle your horse with X, but your whistle will also be heard by people within earshot, which sometimes can be a disadvantage.
Help! Help!
This is probably a terrible idea. I think I need to flee. Mount. Let's see. Horse riding. You can call your horse anytime by whistling and then mount it. Movement, trot is the horse's basic. Pace, walk gives your horse a chance to recover. Canter ideally combines a faster pace with the horse's endurance. And double tapping, left shift. Gallop is the fastest gait, but it'll deplete your horse's stamina. Follow path. Your horse is smarter than some people and will stick to the path you're on if you give him his head. Just begin cantering and don't steer him. Your horse's stamina indicator, it will deplete when galloping. If you try to push your horse when its stamina is low, it may throw you. Galloping can be exhausting and can deplete your stamina too, especially if you're not an experienced horseman. Okay. Okay, so I just need to go this direction. Yeah, I don't need that sword out right now. Where is... Ride to Talonburg. Scallops is currently in terrible position. It's like, do I want to help that lady? Yes. Am I in any position to fight 3 armed individuals? No. Ooh. I think that's a recurve. Well, that sucks. Getting shot in the thigh is no fun. I have to imagine. Bleeding. You're bleeding and you don't yet know how to bandage your wounds. You need to find someone who can help you. Well, I just need to keep going. I discovered a fast travel point. How do I steer horses? Injuries. Serious wounds to parts of the body will significantly affect your capabilities. You can't run with an injured legs. Wielding a sword isn't easy with a broken arm, etc. Wait, and go across the field over this way, it looks like. Slow down a little bit. I am badly injured. By the looks of things. Oh my. Nice, beautiful forest land.
Go! They'll kill you all!
Conciliation cross. Well, I'm in the middle of flight right now, so we're not going to look at that.
Go! They'll kill you all!
Uh,
To Talonburg!
oh boy, this is going real badly. I don't have any magical healing potions. Oh dear. Okay. I got a new level in horsemanship.
Quickly, everyone! Get your asses here!
Hey! And loose!
Real danger here is your horse getting hit by an arrow. Arrows do not go through plate very well.
Quickly! We're closing the gate!
Someone give him a drink. And bring hot wine and bandages.
Ouch.
Tell me, boy, who are you and where are you from? What in hell's name happened?
I've come from Scallops. They burned it to the ground. Slaughtered everyone.
Who? Who burned it to the
A
ground?
huge army. They attacked without warning. And they weren't Czechs or Germans either.
Who then?
I don't know. I've never seen armor like it or heard their language. Maybe Tatars?
Tartars, you say? Yeah. Well, we'll deal with that later. First, let's have a look at that leg of yours.
I don't know.
Grit your teeth, boy. I'm gonna pull that arrow out.
That's gonna hurt. Yeah, that seems about right.
Easy. All done. You were lucky, lad. The arrow missed the bone. It only needed bandaging, and I've done that often enough before. War is a good teacher. Can you stand? There you go. Good as new.
Thank you.
Have you idlers nothing better to do? Get back to work. You'll have to speak to Lord Divish. Can you manage?
Yeah, your muscles are gonna hurt so much, and you're gonna have blood loss, and
Sir, this is a survivor from...
I heard, Robard. Tell me, boy, what exactly happened? Did you see the ensigns of the attackers? And were there any more survivors?
So, I don't know what army it was, but it was huge. There were dozens of banners flying on the hill above Scallops. The ones who did the slaughtering spoke a strange language. They burned Scallops to the ground, but a lot of people took refuge in the castle. I wasn't quick enough. And as I fled, they shouted from the battlements that I should come and warn you.
The soldiers the boy didn't recognize. They could be those Koopmans of Sigismund's. It said they came to Hungary from the east, and now they're the core of his army. Sacking Talonburg must have given him a taste for stolen silver.
Scallops is a small castle, sir. If Sigismund attacks, they can't hold.
Indeed, Sir Robard. And our small garrison would be no help, even if we could risk sending them.
You think we're next in line?
Maybe.
Hmm.
What's your name, boy?
I'm Henry, son of the Scallops blacksmith.
I know him. Did he make it inside the castle? I'm sorry. It's in God's hands now. No one else can help us. Anyway, thank you for risking your neck to warn us. Robard, take care of Henry. Make sure he gets something to eat and some rest.
Yes, sir.
And get all the people inside the gates. We have to prepare for the worst. Make all the necessary arrangements.
As you command, sir.
I like the furnishings. They've definitely done a good job of giving the places grounded character. Objective started. Talk to Sir Robard. Ooh, take a moment to breathe here. Some intense learning how to ride a horse in the middle of being attacked by archers moments, you know? Imagine it's loading a bunch of stuff. That little icon over there on the right. Game saved. Okay, I'm going to read about some of this stuff. We have some locations now. So, Talonburg is the place we just came to. It says, this castle was built on a rocky promontory at the beginning of the 14th century, either by Ernst Arnast of Kaunitz or Rosnata of Usita. For more than 200 years, the castle was the seat of the lords of Huzits, whatever, who were later renamed after their residents, the lords of Talmberg. Excuse me. In 1390, the castle came into the possession of Divish of Talonburg. I really want to add another vowel in there for some reason. The same year, it was seized by Havel Medic of Valdek, who took Divish prisoner. Medic did not release Divish until 1397, when he was forced to do so by decision of the provincial court. Only a ruin now remains of the castle in the midst of residential development. I got caught up on the word Havel for Dark Souls-y reasons. So Scallops. There was probably a settlement in the area where Scallops lies today as early as the 13th century, though there's no mention of the castle until 1361. The development of the town was prompted by silver mining in the area, as well as the existence of the nearby parish of Ravna. The owners of the castle included Jessic of Scallops from 1384 and Bodil of Johannes 1402 to 1403. Wenceslaus IV took possession of it in 1403 and placed it under the governance of the knight Sir Radzig. Kobila. Okay, so that's who we were handing the stuff to, or have the sword of. Later the very same year, though, Kobila was forced to flee the castle to protect the inhabitants of Scallops from King Sigismund's invading army, which torched the castle and the adjoining village. The estate was never renewed thereafter. In December of 1403, Wenceslaus IV granted the remains of the village to John Sokol of Talonburg. The ruin of the medieval castle and its fortifications was scavenged for building material for the Church of St. John of Nepomuk in 1730. Today, only minor remnants of the gatehouse wall, the Zwinger, and the perimeter walls remain. Ravna. The village of Ravna lies close to Striberna Silver Scallops. Around 1150, a Romanesque church with a presbytery and cemetery were built there by monks from Sassau Monastery, which is where he went, hired out somebody to make the cross guard. The church was consecrated to the oldest patron of miners, St. James the Greater. The Romanesque frescoes are its most notable decorative element, painted in 2 stages, in the mid-12th century and roughly 100 years later. Okay. General stuff, eh? So there's a bunch of things to learn about in here. So I'm going to spend a little bit of the remainder of this episode reading a few more of these entries. So, beverages. There were shortages of clean drinking water due to pollution of watercourses by human activities around rural settlements, and fruit juices were available only in season. So this is beverages, eh? Hence, everyone, including children, drank beer. The beer brewed at home was weaker and heavier than today, containing 1 to 5% alcohol and served instead of soup. It had no head of foam, was brewed from wheat, so-called white beer, or from barley, old beer. Only in the 15th century did hops come to be added for a better beer quality, bringing out a bitter flavor. Wine was drunk primarily at court and in the monasteries. It differed from today's by its spicy, very sweet taste. It would be condensed into a thick syrup and diluted with water. Spirits were altogether rare. Distillation took place in small volumes. Fruit and cereal distillates were again weaker than today's, about 15 to 20%. The most popular drink was mead, made from fermented honey dissolved in water. Clothing and fashion. Clothing. Clothing for villagers and other commoners, above all, had to be comfortable, durable, and practical. It had to last for years and be worn in all kinds of weather. It generally consisted of simple shirts and tunics. Men also wore linen knickers down to their knees, and in winter they wore hooded cloaks, fur jackets, and caps. Wide-brimmed hats protected their heads from the sun, and footwear was simple. Most items were of natural colors without ornamentation. An exception was festive apparel, intended for special celebrations and church holidays. In the towns, clothing held greater significance, reflecting status, wealth, and even membership in certain factions, such as tradesmen, soldiers, or apprentices. Accessories included belts, bags, gloves, hats, and other head coverings. Most of the garments in Kingdom Come Deliverance are based on actual historical records of medieval fashion. Hairstyles. In the 14th and 15th centuries, unwed young women had long hair, which they wore down or in braids. Women in towns adorned their hair with ribbons, pearls, wreaths, and vines. Older married women wore pearled nets on their heads, white or colored veils or hats. Fashionable men in the 15th century had long, coiffured hair, and they liked to shave their chins. They covered their heads with brimmed hats, caps, or hoods. Jewelry. In the Middle Ages, jewelry was fashioned from gems, wood, leather, and metals. All gold tended to be worn around the neck and breast rather than on the hand. The most common type of jewelry consisted of earrings and various types of crosses. The most common motifs adorning jewelry were flowers and animals. Figural decoration was often associated with religious themes. Rings were very popular in the High Middle Ages and were worn for both prestige and symbolic meaning. They were either made entirely of metal, mostly bronze, in rare cases silver plate or copper wire, or adorned with precious stones and worn on all fingers. Okay, so it's just saying that they were worn on all fingers as opposed to specific fingers. Footwear was made of leather, cow, calf, goat, as well as grass, straw, bast fibers, wood, cloth, or felt. Don't know if I pronounced that right. In the countryside, people often went barefoot in the summertime, so they'd probably develop thick calluses on their feet. Shoes were originally made from a single piece of material and fitted with straps. Soles, left and right, on shoes first appeared in the mid-14th century, while heels were added in the 15th century. The most common type of footwear consisted of sandals that covered the entire sole of the foot and slippers made of wood or cork. Okay, yeah, I've seen that sort of thing. Wooden clogs and stuff. Stitched shoes could be either low or above the ankle. Conciliation crosses. Conciliation crosses, or merely stones with a cross engraved into the surface, were erected in places where tragic events or important historical events in the life of the community or the country had occurred. They were closely linked to criminal law, a symbol of admission of guilt and a plea for forgiveness. The conciliation cross embodied repentance by the perpetrator of a crime, built at the culprit's expense. In addition, conciliation crosses marked the boundaries of estates and municipalities. Dugout shelters. A dugout shelter is a form of smaller and more makeshift housing, one room dug into the ground with steps leading down into it. It was covered with a simple thatched roof. These were home to poor people, or a provisional shelter for woodcutters, charcoal burners, and shepherds who did not live in them all year round. Fabrics. Fabrics were made from plant and animal fibers. Fibers especially were used from the very beginning, from willow and linden trees, as well as various grasses. Later on, particular plants were selectively cultivated to be particularly suitable for cloth production, such as flax or hemp. Hemp fiber is tough, rougher, and darker than flax, but unyielding, hence not too suitable for clothing and better utilized for ropes and strings. Cotton was unknown in Europe until the late Middle Ages. The most widely used animal fiber was wool for its good insulation properties, high absorbency, flexibility, and ease of dyeing. It was combed or shorn from sheep. Sure, yeah, I've had hair fall out while combing. A highly prized and rare import from Asia was silk. Yeah, that would be... Oh man, there's so much more stuff to go in here, but I think that's probably going to go ahead and cover stuff for today. So I'll go ahead and wrap up here, and I will see you again next time. So until then, everyone, take care, and goodbye.